here, go to the chat, and it should show up probably 5-10 minutes after we're done. All right, so for those that don't know me, my name is Lauren Johnson. I'm the Southeast Regional Marketing Manager. And like I said, we're going to go over a lot of different ideas. So I want to give you guys a lot of different ideas here. So that's why I understand if you just want to see the slide deck after. So it will be a lot of information. But all right, without further ado, let's get started here. So first, I wanted to kind of just do a little overview of what are the goals of social media, okay, and what do actually like other brands, why do they use it, and what are their goals when they do it? So one of the bulk of their investment and our most of investment is obviously the potential audience reach. That's the number one indicator, is who are we going to reach on here, and then of course the cost of the ads, and then even potential of driving traffic and lead generation. So why do consumers follow brands? One, to learn about new products or services, to be entertained. Okay, and this is why I thought this was so impactful. For 48% to be entertained, that shows a lot right there that you need to have the right content in place. Okay, and this is why content is such a huge indicator for your brand and for building anything on social media. Why do they unfollow brands? Obviously, the poor customer service, but look at number 2, irrelevant content. So you see where I'm going with this. All about content. Okay, so that even before you even get the brand, it's knowing what are you going to market and how are you going to market to these people. And then showing that social is about more than sales. So what is their top goal? So when actually a brand is actually considering going and marketing on a social media, what is their top goal? Increase brand awareness. So obviously that's showing that social media does work. And obviously the sales and lead generation aspect. So what social platforms? And of course I had to include this because we have so many social media platforms out there right now. And I get a lot of questions of which ones do I use? So 100%, I always say the first go-to are always Facebook and Instagram. Okay, Facebook is still number 1, even though people say Instagram's getting bigger or whatever, it's still not. Majority of people are still on Facebook. So I always say those are the main go-to. And I actually think probably this is old because it says Twitter is number 3. I think honestly, probably YouTube has surpassed Twitter 100%. So YouTube would also be my other option. YouTube, guys, if you guys do not have a YouTube account, I highly recommend that you do get a YouTube account. Okay, video is 100% where things are going. It's already there. Video is already huge, and it's just getting bigger. So for those that if you guys have a Gmail account, you actually already have a YouTube account. You probably don't even know it. But YouTube is actually the number 2 most visited site behind Google. So that shows the power of that platform. And video, which I'm going to talk a lot about today too, is also a very huge way to get your brand out there and to get noticed. So then if you just take this and you look even at the bottom, because a lot of people think TikTok is so big and so hot, but it's not big for pushing brands. Okay, and that's what I just want to emphasize. And it's funny because when I see a lot of big brands using TikTok, where they're pushing it on Instagram. They're pushing it on Facebook. They're not pushing it. It's not getting pushed. Their brand isn't getting more exposure on TikTok itself. So that's something to keep in mind. TikTok has great filters and everything. If you guys can stay muted, I'm hearing some background noise. Hold on. It has great filters that you can use for everything. So that's why I would take it and use it, and you still take it and use it to put it on social media. On your Instagram. Okay, so let's get into what is branding. So it's not all about the logo. And I know a lot of agents get stuck on that. It's the logo. But the reality is, guys, when you start looking at these brands and even their logos are not impressive. They're not even appealing, most of them. I mean, you look at Facebook, you look at Nike, it's a swoosh. It's not very exciting. You look at Starbucks. I bring this up because Starbucks is probably one of the most confusing brands to me. It's just this woman. It has nothing to do with coffee. But that's one of the most recognized brands out there because of what they did with it. So don't get so caught up on the actual logo itself. It's everything. And that's what you guys have to think of when you're starting to build your brand and your business, is how do you want people to perceive you? How do you want people to perceive that business? And that's the goal that you should be thinking about when building this brand. 100%, the main thing too is to focus on being you. Okay, and that's a huge, huge thing. And I tell a lot of agents this is like, it's funny because I had this one agent and she was like a little out there, a little quirky, but fun. And she thought when she actually worked with me that I was going to change her. And I said, no, why would I change you? And she said, I guess so many people have tried to change her, but I'm like, use that to your advantage. So that's why I say, be you. Like, people are going to relate to when you're real. And that's why a lot of it comes with being real. And even on your videos, it's being you. Like, don't try to be somebody that you're not. That's 100% on social media and with your brand, is be who you want to be. You know, I threw in this little example here on moon pie because it was just showing, I thought it was very clever when they said tips for a safe and fun 4th of July. They made it funny. You know, they put like, do not eat any fireworks, eat a moon pie, the American classic, respect the heck out of some bald egos. You may also eat hamburgers and hot dogs. You know, they made it different and they made it funny. And that's why I say, like, if you guys are like that, if you're funny or like to, like, be light on stuff, then do it. People are going to respond better to you than when you're trying to be somebody you're not. So branding, and obviously the benefit is it makes your life easier. It really just helps envelope your whole marketing concept together. So when you nail down your brand first and foremost, then you set the whole tone for your marketing. So you'll see that everything across the board should be similar. Okay, and then that's how you can actually have a creative edge over your competitors, is when you have your branding in place. So obviously the absence of branding, it looks exactly like your competition. You're not standing out amongst the rest. So that's why it is very important to have a brand. And I do say this a lot, even with Coldwell Banker, because we have such a huge network of agents. You know, if you are using the Coldwell Banker colors, I say at least have some other pop of color that's going to make you stand out. Okay, that's where you're going to stand out amongst the crowd. Okay, so then once you have, and you decide, well, okay, you're going to start with your branding. First and foremost is figuring out who are you going to target. That is huge, okay? Because I talk a lot about this with even my lead classes. You have to know who you're going to target, because the reality is, guys, you can't do blanket marketing. It's never going to work. You're going to fail no matter how you try to do this. And I can tell you, I vouch for this. I've done 20 years of marketing. I used to do a ton of different industries. No matter what industry I marketed for, it's always the same. You have to define that target audience. You can't send a blanket message. It's just never going to work. You have to really hone in. So how you hone in on that message is really knowing who are you targeting. You know, what do they want? What are they looking for? How do they consume their content? Where are they? Where do you target them? Where do they hang out? Those types of things are going to help you then better focus on your marketing. So things to think about are obviously 1 or 2 groups to target with your marketing efforts. So your income bracket could be one. It could be your age groups, where they live, their ethnic or culture groups, the levels of education, and their lifestyles. You know, are they golfers? Are they boaters? Are they just investors buying a second home? Those types of things, I can already have in my head different messages already crafted for each of these. So that's what I'm talking about. It's different when you're actually trying to focus on these types of groups. It makes your marketing different. And then also being aware of the market. What happens when the market conditions also play a role? You know, so for example, we're obviously in a very strong seller's market right now. So what does that mean? That's a focus on why real estate professionals are needed in the transaction, because what's happening now more than ever is a lot of people think they don't need an agent. So 100% what my marketing would be right now is talking about the benefits of having an agent. What is an agent going to do for you that you can't do on your own for sale by owner? Those types of things can be in your marketing efforts right now, since we are in that strong seller's market. A weak economy might suggest highlighting your ability to help with financing as part of your marketing approach. For example, so see how all these things kind of play into it. So the benefits of knowing your buyer. This also can help you guys if you have your target audience in mind, and especially if you are going into an actual listing presentation. This is where this information can help you even win that listing. This is where all of this kind of ties in together. If you're going in for a listing presentation, you 100% should be knowing that target audience. So then you could be Mr. and Mrs. Seller. I know the exact type of buyer because I've created an avatar based on who they are. I've already done some research on Facebook to let you know there's 31,000 of them. The moment you list your home with me tonight, my marketing team and I are going to go back and run a very specific strategic ad directly to them, driving them to their native world, Facebook. So how powerful would that be if you actually went into a listing presentation and had that information in place? The benefit is, guys, we have this data. CBX, which is linked into Moxie, pulls this information in. All you have to do is put in that listing location. And this is 100%. If you guys are even doing digital ads, Facebook or Instagram ads, this is where I would be going first. Okay, because this is going to tell you who's most likely to buy in what area. Now, it doesn't go outside of Florida. They're working on that. But like for my region, South Florida, it does the Tri-County. So I can at least get a gauge from Miami, Broward to Palm Beach to get an idea of where the buyer would be coming from those 3 counties. So then if I was doing a digital ad, what I would do is I would take those information, I would take those zip codes that they're saying most likely to buy, and then I would target that ad for those areas. And that's how you can even say that same information in your listing presentation. So then that's a benefit for you where you're saying, I have a device. Actually, I would say it like this. We have a tool. It's predictive analytics. It tells who most likely is going to buy for your home. So then I could strategically use my marketing dollars to target them rather than blanket marketing and wasting tons of money. That's how you could use that to your advantage. So once you have your target audience defined, then you need to figure out what makes you unique. So what is your value proposition? This is huge. And don't tell me you don't have them, because we all have something that makes us unique. Either it's your background, it's your education, or something that makes you different than somebody else. So here, even a little breakdown you could think of. So what differentiates you from the competition? And this is also too, guys, knowing is even for your branding, knowing what your competitors are doing is huge. Okay, I used to always have a file. I still have one. I have a file of competitors all the time, because it helps. When you see a weakness of theirs, that is an opportunity for you to capitalize on that. So consider your target client and challenges they face. How can you provide a solution to their problem, and how much are you willing to spend to do so? So things to keep in mind is, who is it for? That's again your target audience. Who are you targeting? Home buyer. These are home buyer clients. Who needs? What are their needs to find and purchase their first home? The company. So it's personally guided process. That's what they do. They provide quick and painless home purchases. See, this is how you can break down, what are you going to offer? Who are you targeting? What are their needs? What are you going to offer with your services to them? What's the cost? They have 5% commission. How is it different? It's unlike XYZ real estate, for example. We do this by combining our extensive knowledge of the market with a deep understanding of our clients' needs and concerns, as demonstrated by, so how do they know it's working? Because it's consistently high number of listings and referrals that they receive. So that was a unique selling proposition of an example. So think about what sets yourself apart. Consider your own strengths and weaknesses. And this is what I said, education. You know, if you have a law degree, it's funny because I actually had an agent came to me and he said, Lauren, I don't know what to put for my unique selling proposition. I don't have one. And I was like, what did you do before real estate? He was like, I was a lawyer. And I'm like, what? That's a huge unique selling proposition. I said, talk about that. I said, you probably know how to read contracts better than anybody. So sometimes you guys don't know. And I know it's sometimes hard to evaluate yourself. Talk to other people, talk to friends, spouses, partners. See what they say is your unique selling proposition. Even if you guys offered some things that Coldwell Banker offers, okay, like you can even use our things that are helping you unique selling propositions, such as Real Vitalize. Okay, Real Vitalize now offers moving expenses and storage expenses. So you can even say that in your marketing that you offer that. You know, I know some people offer staging. Real Vitalize offers that too. That could be something that you put in there as you offer that. So those types of things can help you as well as what Coldwell Banker has. If you're stuck, use those to your advantage. But think of even things. If you live in the neighborhood, if you're from the area, if you grew up here, that's a huge benefit to you. You know the area better than anyone. Talk about why you know that. Talk about you've been a resident for X number of years. If you held any kind of leadership role in the community or a professional group, those are huge as well to push. A natural affinity for a certain group. So obviously, if you're a senior, you know, you're going to be drawn and you'll be able to relate to that group. Being a senior yourself, for example, or vice versa. If you're a millennial, think of that as well, that you can relate to them. Okay, those are the benefits. And it does. We flock to people who are like us. So that's where you like knowing this stuff is going to help you then target your audience and your marketing. So then map out these qualities. So for example, what is the differentiator? First-time homebuyer expertise. How do we do it? Our top 3 buyer agents have 60 plus years combined experience. So this is just, you're taking everyone's experience. They probably all have 20 years apiece. With first-time homebuyers, we know it's working because last year, 18% of our first-time homebuyer clients indicated they had spoken with another company before signing with us. So that's a proof point right there. Okay, so now the branding. Okay, so naming your brand. And this is where I always say you have to really think about this, guys. If you're going to put your name on there, if nobody knows your name, you have to really think of this first, because especially when you're going on social media, I always say to choose something unique, because what are people going to search for? If your name is not well known, they're not going to go just automatically to your name. So think of other things. I have this as an example of South Florida living I threw out there, or South Florida lifestyle, or whatever you want to put. But that is going to be more of an indicator than if I just said Lauren Johnson, when they're like, who the heck is Lauren Johnson? But if I said South Florida living and then had hyphen Lauren Johnson or whatever, and that was my main thing, that is where you're going to benefit on social media. Okay, stuff like that is knowing that, okay, you could still put your name in there, but it could be under. Okay, your main name should be something that's going to brand to your business or your area. Obviously, creating a hook. So this is what I talked about again with the unique selling proposition. So a hook is obviously huge. Your marketing, it's obviously your story. It's what makes your audience's eyes and ears perk up and think, yes, this is what I've been looking for. And this is also too, is knowing where the pain points are for people. What are people, needing right now? And that's where the research comes in a little bit. To find your marketing hook, you must start with a story. So show your customers in a few words as possible how your business solves their problem better than the competition. And this is, again, knowing what your competition is offering helps immensely. Because if you know, hey, my competition isn't really going after the luxury market, then maybe that's a benefit where you start to go after them. So those types of things. If they're not offering staging, hey, I can offer staging. Real Vitalist offers staging. And then, of course, pick your colors. So again, this is something that you guys should pick. You should be something that, again, stands out. And again, I say if you guys are using the Coldwell Banker colors, then pick another color as well. That is going to help differentiate you. Okay, there's so much power in a color. And that is 100% really what branding is, guys. If you look at all these top brands, it's that color that is resonating with people. Starbucks, we automatically think of that green. Facebook, we think of the blue. Those types of things, Nike, it's black, it's a black swoosh. Those types of things, that's what it remembers. People remember that color. And then, of course, you could design your logo. So I always say, don't get so stuck on a logo. Sometimes you don't even need a logo. You literally can just do your name if you wanted to. Okay, and I think I have an example in here to show of that. But there's a lot of times you can just have your name in a color. It doesn't have to necessarily always be a logo. And I always say, don't get so hung up. A lot of agents, I say this because I see it. I see a lot of agents, they spend so much time developing their logo. When really, look at these logos, guys. They're all ugly. If you guys got any of these logos, you probably wouldn't be very thrilled with them. They're not very fancy. And there's that, of course, that Starbucks one. See, that makes no sense. Why does that say coffee? There's nothing about that screams coffee to me, but they have a lady in there. And it's well known because of what they did with it. So those things, just know that just go with it and run with it and just get it out. Don't sit there and take so long on your branding. Then, of course, once you have that logo in place, 100% what it comes down to are these 5 things. Okay, consistency across the board. You see every single bullet point is consistency. It's being consistent with your colors. Okay, once you have that color in place, you have that logo in place, then everything that you do should be consistent. If you have this bar on the bottom that's green, say, I have green stuck in my head now because of Starbucks. Green, then that means everything that I do will have a green bar on the bottom. Okay, if I do a social media post, I would relay that green bar. If I do a direct mail post, a postcard, I would relay a green bar on the bottom. That's what I'm talking about with the consistency. That's how you start to build brand recognition. You build brand awareness, creates trust, makes you memorable, and actually creates increased revenue because people respond to that better than if you're all over the place. When you have a brand in place and a full color and it shows across every single avenue that you guys are on, that's where people start to then have trust in your brand. Okay, and what I mean by that is this isn't just about putting it in your signature or just about putting it on social media. It's also everywhere that you guys are at. So if you have a Facebook account, your Facebook account should have the same look and feel that your Instagram account has. So should your YouTube account. All of these need to be the same. And then when you guys are sending out, say, emails, your signature on the bottom and the look and feel should have a very similar look to what you're sending out across the board. Okay, and it's just relaying it all. We to help with this is we do have Design Concierge. So if you guys are stuck about creating a brand, or you don't know where to start, or you need help, Design Concierge is basically our in-house branding. It's our in-house designers that can help start this process for you. So how it works, I think I have this little video here. Here I do here. It's only a minute long. Okay, so that was just an idea to give you an idea of what Design Concierge can do. And actually that example, what they showed, is something that you guys can actually go in and do yourself. You saw what she was doing. That's called the semi-custom logo. Okay, the semi-custom logo is like 75 bucks. If you guys want an actual custom logo, that would probably be more around $250. Okay. But here's kind of the logo options, but they will basically work with you. So the best way to work with them, honestly, guys, and I'm going to tell you, I used to design a lot myself, is if you have an idea. So even if you have some sort of idea in mind a little bit, even if you like a logo, then have those examples. That's the best way to, and you're not going to get frustrated with this process. Because if you just go to them and you have no idea what to do, you're going to get frustrated with what they come back with, because it's probably more than likely not going to be what you want. But I 100% would utilize this. I'm telling you, with Design Concierge, they do the logo, they even do signatures, they even do a professional bio copy. So if you guys are just starting on your branding and you don't have your bio in place, use them. They will do a copyright. I think it's like 99 bucks, and it's worth it because that bio will carry with you for a long time. It's worth them doing it. They even have this property marketing templates, and you see it says for Listing Concierge. I have to encourage this a lot, guys, especially if you're building your own brand, because the benefit with this, okay, and I'm going to tell you with the Listing Concierge, what it does is it's a one-time fee. It's like they actually just reduced the price. It used to be over $400. I think now it's like $345. Okay, it's a $345, somewhere around there. Don't quote me exactly. I think that's close. But what that is basically they will take your branding, okay, and they will take, so if you're familiar with the Listing Concierge materials, what they will do is they will take your branding and your look. So you see in this little example here, they have this teal color at the top with their logo. So that means that if you did create your own logo, your logo would be front and center rather than the Coldwell Banker logo. Okay, because the Freck rules, it just needs to be on the materials somewhere. So it doesn't have to be front. But right now, if you do Listing Concierge, it's Coldwell Banker's logo on front. If you do this one-time fee, it's a semi-custom. You get to pick the color of the background, the fonts, and your logo would be front and center. So then when you're happy with that, what they would do is they would take those templates and upload them into your Listing Concierge account. So then going forward, every time you place a Listing Concierge order, they would use your templates rather than the default Coldwell Banker ones. So I've had it in my region, a lot of agents doing that. Again, it's a way to differentiate yourself, to stand out. Because really, guys, Listing Concierge is such a great tool to get you out as far as branding, because what that platform does is something that you guys can't do single-handedly. There's no way that you could get a statewide ad. You would cost at least $1,000, if not more. A TV spot, I mean, this is branding yourself on so many different levels. The statewide ad alone, I can tell you, I don't know if you guys know this, but it's 175,000 distribution statewide. Okay, that goes in all of the local publications. So that goes in Miami Herald, Sun Sentinel, Palm Beach Post, Naples Daily News, Wall Street Journal. These are all subscriber based. Orlando Sentinel, Sarasota Herald Tribune, and it even goes across the West Coast. It goes in every door direct mail. So it's a huge exposure. I could tell you my number one team down here, the Jill Zeter group, they actually were getting, their clients were asking them why they weren't in that magazine. So that's something now that they are a part of that. So think of that. That's a great way to get out there and build your brand, is with the Listing Concierge. And especially if you do these property marketing templates, like I said, it's that one-time fee that even helps build your brand more so. So, and you can see even the other things that they have in here. They have listing presentations, stationery, and a lot of other different things in here. This is a great example. And again, when I said in the beginning, is you don't even need a logo. And you see, she didn't even use a logo. She used type. So you see it says Carolina's Finest. But what I love about this is she picked that one color and she kept it consistent throughout all of her marketing. So you can see it in a flyer, you can see it in a brochure, in her business cards, in her direct mail pieces, and on her social media. No matter where you see her, it is consistent with her marketing. This is what wins, guys. This is what makes brand recognition so powerful. So just these little things, and even the social media, you see all it is those highlight things she added with the logo and the colors. Okay, so that's where you have to think about with their branding, is making those colors consistent throughout. So business accounts. So now I'm going to talk about a little with these Instagram accounts. So Instagram makes it very easy to switch to a business profile. And everybody should really take advantage of this business profile. Okay, it doesn't change your account. So even if you have a personal profile, switch it to the business as long as you're comfortable with it. I 100% would do this because the benefit, and like I said, you don't lose anything. So you don't lose any of your followers. It doesn't make it a new account like it does with Facebook. You have to make a different page. This is all in one with Instagram. But the benefits is you're going to get data now on this. So it'll give you insights of your followers. Okay, that's again where you're starting to learn your target audience. So starting to look at those analytics of who's following you, where are they from? Those types of things will then help you with your content. It'll even show you what posts they're resonating with more so. So this little insights, like I said, it's literally just switching it to business, and you start to get all these analytics, which helps in marketing. This is a lot of times what people don't look at with marketing. And this doesn't take a bunch of time, guys. It literally is just you pull this up, and this is what you would see. You would see how many followers, you would see what age group they're in, you would see how many are women or how many are men, and it tells you where they're from. And it tells you their age groups, and it tells you what time they actually look at your post. So when are they most active? See, that's going to help you then know, when do I post? What hours? When are they on? When are they being active with? Okay, so those are the types of things to think about and to look at. They also have, this is the insight. So again, that's just the insight where it looks like when you're doing that business account, you get to see the insight. So even when you see, okay, they're mostly on Wednesdays. At 12 o'clock, it looks like. Well, what is that? It's like lunchtime, right? Middle of the day, lunchtime, middle of the week. Makes sense. Wednesdays, I can tell you, Tuesdays and Wednesdays are always hot for marketing. But this helps. Okay, and like I said, it's very easy to do, and it can help just get you little insights. Okay, the next thing to think about is, as I talked about, is as you're building your brand, it's the profile optimization. Okay, this is across the board. This should be on all of your social media platforms. It's again with that clarity of the brand name. Okay, again, so the search engines can index it. So think of that stuff, especially if you're using Instagram. Think of even like a hashtag or a handle that you create that is going to get recognized now going forward. So if I had, say, what did I have? South Florida lifestyle or South Florida something I had, then maybe that is my brand name. And then I have Lauren Johnson on the side. Those types of things. So then maybe my Instagram handle is Sofla lifestyle or something. That's what I'm talking, like that's where you're going to get more usage than if you're just putting your name out there. Obviously upload a high quality profile picture. Okay, this is very important too, because you don't want to be like falling into blurriness or something when you're out there with your social media. And again, it should be the same across the board, guys. So whatever you put on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, they should all be the same of what you're looking at. So then that's recognized as that's your profile picture. Like I talked, update your bio. Okay, this is also important. Make sure that you are updating this, and use hashtags. So whatever it is for the hashtags for yourself, and then you could do a link to your website. Or a lot of people, what they're doing for Instagram, since Instagram literally only allows you one link on your profile, is maybe using that link tree. A link tree is a great source that it actually allows you to put multiple links on a page. So that's the way a lot of people on Instagram are getting around it, is link tree. Okay, and here's an example. So this was actually an author, Andy Dorfman, but you see she put her hashtag as Andy Dorfins. Okay, that's her hashtag now going forward. She already has over 500 posts in it, but this is where you start. Whatever your hashtag is, develop that and then repeat that in your post. Okay, that's again going to get your brand out there. Here was another example. This is actually one of our agents, Katie Day, who's in Houston. And she puts move me. So you see what her main Instagram account is, move me to Texas. Okay, then she has in her bio, in the description, her name and that she's a Houston realtor. But this is where I'm talking about, is following that hashtag. Okay, and this is where she puts every single thing in her post. You see that hashtag, move me to Texas. She puts it every single time she posts on that. And then of course she has that link tree link in there, which has all her links in there. But this is a great example. She's a big agent of ours. The other thing is Facebook profiles. Okay, a lot of people don't put enough information on their Facebook profile of your business account. Okay, the benefit with the business account is they will give you, again, they'll give you insights that your other profile won't give you. Also, the benefit is your Instagram account, not your Instagram, your Facebook account, it will actually feed to Google. So the Facebook business, all of this about, you need to make sure all of this is filled out as much as possible. That actually feeds into Google. So it helps when somebody's actually searching for you or any of that. So making sure when you go to your Facebook page and your about page, you'll see all that edit. Make sure that is filled in as much as possible. Okay, and then talk about stuff with you. So if I had, like, say if my handle was South Florida Lifestyle, whatever I said, then again, my handle on Facebook, the same thing, I could change this to South Florida Lifestyle or SoFlo Lifestyle, whatever I said. Make sure that is repeated. That's the repetition. That's the consistency that I'm talking about. I can't emphasize this enough because there's so many times I sit with an agent and they do not have this repeated. It's they have a completely different Facebook profile. Their name is different on Facebook than it is on Instagram. Okay, and that's why I say just make it consistent, guys. I actually just met with a guy last week. He had a different name on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And I looked at him and I'm like, how do you expect everyone to think that this is you? He didn't have an answer. So we changed. So that's what I mean by everything needs to be consistent. Everything across the board. So building your brand. So tagging is huge. Okay, so then once you have all of this set up and you have your logo set, your colors are set, all your profiles are set up, then how do you really work it? So then how you work it, of course, is knowing that content that you're going to provide. 100% it has to be the content to that target audience. And then also amplifying that with tagging. Okay, tagging is going to really help, especially on Instagram, is a great way. Okay, and how I actually tell a lot of agents is, especially if you're doing, say if you do just highlight a business, or if you tag a business, say you went to dinner or you went out to lunch, tag that business is going to help you get in front of them a lot. It gets in front of their followers, and it's a great opportunity for engagement if you start tagging them, especially if you highlight a business. More than likely, they will push you and promote you if you do that, because what business is going to be like, no, don't highlight me, or no, don't promote me? You don't have to worry about that. If you're promoting them, 100%, you have free reign to do that. And then of course, tagging wise. So first the at mention. So a lot of things are different with the way you tag. So when you at somebody, so you at them, tag them, rather than the hashtag tag them, that shows up as a regular notification in your feed. So it easily can get lost. Okay, so that's where you say, if like you tag somebody big and they have, like here, they use an example, books a million. Well, the notification will only show the 100 most recent notifications. So if they get over 200 a day, then they're not going to see that first 100. You're basically going to get completely lost. But when you actually tag that account, then it shows up as a separate notification. So that's where the difference is. Okay, so the tagging content basically becomes a giant gallery of user-generated content about your brand. So that's, again, where you make sure that whatever hashtag you use that all the time on yours, because they'll start building. And then, of course, growing your audience. So how do you grow your audience on social media? 100%, guys, social media is about engagement. Okay, so that doesn't mean that just how many people are liking my posts or how many people are interacting with me. You guys have to remember that this is a software, okay, and it's an algorithm that they use. So basically, how are you tricking the software? You have to make sure the software knows that you're active on the platform. So what that means is that you need to go and respond to people as well. It can't just be waiting for them to respond to you. Go and put your likes in on people. Go on your newsfeed and just hit a bunch of likes. Make a couple comments on some people's posts. That's what the algorithm wants to see. When you start doing that, then you naturally push yourself up on the newsfeed. It's going to be a natural, but if you just are sitting here and you post and you're waiting for people to respond to you, it's not going to be as a big of a response if you're not engaging as well. It's 100% about engagement all across the board. So that's why you make sure that you're responding to comments. If people are writing on your posts, make sure you're responding to them. Make sure you're using your hashtag strategically. Now, they do say you are allowed like 30 hashtags on a post. I 100% would never use all 30. I would say 10 to 11 is pretty good. You're also allowed hashtags in your stories. So make sure you're hashtagging as well there. And then make sure you're even just following complementary businesses so that they can share each other's posts as well. And then, of course, like I said in the beginning, content is huge. And content is really the key across the board with marketing. So this is where I say is really knowing and defining your audience is how you're going to win in the content strategy. Now, I actually talk a lot, if I can remember, what is the name of that site? There's this, sorry, I went blank. I got to go find that site. There's a site, I can't remember what it is now, where it actually tells you what people are searching for. Answerthepublic.com. Okay, answerthepublic.com. This is a really, really cool site, and this is great if you guys are stuck on content. That's what it's called, answerthepublic.com. This is like a marketer's dream, guys, because what this does is basically it allows you to do 3 searches a day. Then they're going to try to charge you. Don't pay for anything with this. Just wait till midnight and do another search or something. But what this does is, say if I wanted to go search and I have no idea what to put for content, they will actually show you what people are searching for in regards to your search term right now on Google. Like, that is like unheard of to get this kind of data. It's a marketer's dream, 100%. Let me show it real quick because it's so cool. I'm going to show you guys. Yeah, answerthepublic.com. So here it was what it looks like, and I don't even have to sign in. I don't even need an account or anything. You literally can just come here and look. They had an example, chocolate. But here I could say move to Florida and just hit search. Now you could do whatever your term. Just remember, you only get 3 a day. But then what you could do is, you see right here, I can save this image. This is basically telling me what is everyone searching in regards to that on Google right now. So some things, and again, there's some things that are repeated, but here's why move to Florida in 2021. Well, if people are searching that, that's one of the big things people are searching for. Then maybe that's a post. That's a content for me right there. Why people move to Florida? Why people move to Florida? Pros and cons. Why move to Florida? Taxes. So this is all giving you content ideas that you could easily use as a post or even a blog. How to move to Florida from the UK. And some of these are weird, like how to move to Florida with no money. Well, don't then. But you get the idea. This is all stuff, like if you start going through this, and like I said, you get all these different searches, they'll give you little ideas on here of what you can post and content, you know. And you keep going, they break it down even more. Move to Florida with no job. I mean, some of these are not very good, but you get the idea. Okay, it's probably I wouldn't do move to Florida. Where's the best place to live in the Florida Keys? Is it safe to live in the Florida Keys? I mean, if that was my area I was targeting, then that's giving me content right there to target and to say, avoid income tax in Florida, how to retire in Florida, how to move to Florida on a budget. See, these types of things is where you can then feed, and it just keeps breaking it more and more down. And they're here. It's even talking about the differences of Texas and Florida. I mean, that could be a post. We all know people are considering it. What is the difference? That could be a talk about right there. So you get the idea, and there's tons of different things. And basically, they let you save all this. And they even let you download the CSV of all this. But you could even go other things. You could talk about real estate and see what are they asking questions on real estate and so forth. But it's a really, really cool site. Like I said, it just gives you that data that you don't get. You don't get what are people actually typing into Google in relation to that. And then also too, as I have on there is Canva. So Canva, if you guys don't know, Canva is a great resource. It makes social media and everything with marketing so much easier. Now, as far as building your brand, okay, and with Canva, the thing that you can do with Canva is you could basically create ahead of time templates. Okay, and if you guys are stuck on what to do for your template, go to Etsy. Etsy literally sells these templates for like 10 bucks, 20 bucks tops, but you could get a bunch of templates and then change them to your coloring and to your style. But basically the template's already in place. Canva makes it so easy to just build a bunch of them. And then when it comes time to posting, the great thing is if you go pro, they give you this social media calendar. So you literally can schedule all of your social media posts based on those templates ahead of time. So it's really a cool thing to do. I think it makes graphic design so much easier. I actually grew up on Photoshop and InDesign and all the Adobe products. I'm telling you, Canva is so easy to use. So if you don't have, it's $12.99 a month, which honestly, Adobe charges like 20 bucks a month per thing. It's cheaper and it's way easier. Even if you just tried it out, they have a trial you could use for 30 days to see if you want to go pro. But even if you just did the free account, on the free account, I don't think you can schedule your social media or calendars, but you can still do your templates in the free account. You can still do a lot of stuff in the free account if you just want to test it out. It's highly worth it, guys. And especially for social media to get ahead, I highly recommend it. And then of course, like I said in the beginning, consistency. So is consistency, I can't emphasize enough because I get so many times people are like, well, how many times should I post? How many times should I be sending email? There is no formula. Okay, I am not going to sit here and say, okay, if you post 3 times a week versus somebody who posts 3 times a day, they're going to have a better following than you. That's not the case. That's not what it comes down to. It comes down to consistency. Okay, and it comes down to how, if you want to keep it. So I could tell you, I used to work for a lot of builders and developers. So I stuck to a 3-day-a-week regimen just because that was my hours I worked. I stuck to Monday, Wednesday, sometimes Thursday, and Friday. I would switch Wednesday and Thursday sometimes. But I'm telling you, this is huge with just keeping the consistency. And I had a great following. And it was just because I did it consistent every week. I was consistent every week, what 3 days they were, I consistently posted 3 times a week. And that's all I'm saying. And the same thing goes in mind with your emails. Okay, if you do it once a month, then that's fine. Just keep it once a month. Then okay, next month you're going to do it again. You're going to do another email. That is the consistency that needs to happen. The same with the mailers. Okay, if you guys are sending out mailers, don't stop. Just keep sending them if it's consistency, because it's about who's in front of you. What is that NAR statistic? That NAR statistic is like 97% of people were happy with their realtors, but only 11% ended up using the same realtor, something like that. That's because of who's in their face. It's whoever's in their face is going to win most. And that's what you guys have to keep in mind. Okay, and you have to figure out whatever is comfortable for you. Don't kill yourself. Okay, I'm not seeing that somebody's posting 3 times a day versus somebody 3 times a week that they're winning anymore. They're not. It's about the consistency with all across the board. Okay, so ideas. So let's get into the ideas. What do I post? So obviously 100% video is huge. And video, I can't even resonate enough how big video is. Everything with video is showing bigger responses. Okay, emails that have video are getting a higher open rate. Websites that have video, people are staying longer. Social media posts with video are getting a bigger response. So video is just where it's at, guys. And the reality is because if you look at everything, it's these reels are so popular. And that's 100% where you guys should be focusing on. The benefit with those reels is it's like a TikTok. If you guys see those Instagram reels, that's what it is when you're on those Instagram reels. You're exposed to everybody. Okay, you're not limited. Whereas if you just post on your post on your account, then you're only in front of your followers. But the benefit with those reels is you get out in front of everyone. So then that builds your following. That builds more people getting exposure to you, and that builds your brand. So think of video, okay? And guys got to get, if you guys are not comfortable with video, get comfortable with being on video. Okay, you guys are the only ones who think your voice sounds weird. I can't watch myself for the same reason. I can't stand the way my voice sounds. But to you, I sound normal. It's just in my head, it sounds weird. So just remember that. Just like I always say, the thing that I tell my agents is just shoot and post. Don't even review it. Just shoot it and post it and get it out. Because if you review it, you're going to constantly keep redoing it. Just shoot and post. But things that you can do, okay, things that you could talk about what you've learned in real estate. Okay, if you're somebody who has an exorbitant amount of experience in real estate, talk about that. That can be your video post. Talk about things that people need right now. You know, what is it like to get a down payment right now? What are tricks and things of getting a down payment? What is the market doing right now? Okay, 100% you guys can easily do a video update every month on what is happening in the market. And you should be. And the benefit with that video is now that video will go on YouTube, but it can also go in your email blast. It can go on social media. So don't think of it as just one thing of content. You're basically spreading that content across all of your media channels. That's the benefit with that. Things are 10 things every buyer should know before making a move. 21 mistakes sellers make when listing their home. You know, you can even do a video on Real Vitalize talking about that we have a program that you could make repairs and fix up, which is so big right now. Fix it up with nothing down and nothing up front. And I can tell you guys, our competitors don't have anything like this. That big C word competitor, they put liens on people's properties. They don't give as much on their program. So keep that in mind, as ours are definitely better and a better advantage for sellers. People are using that Real Vitalize like crazy. You can also use the information in MarketQuest. So MarketQuest version 2, this is great information to use as a post as well. They give you a market position report. You also get now the market trends report, which looks like this. Okay, so this can easily just give you a post for a month. Pull it once a month, and there you go, you have a post. Okay, and this is the snapshot I actually have coming soon, but this is out now. I didn't update this. But the great thing with this snapshot is you see that it gives you a tall, wide, and square, and even a postcard option. So they give you the different options for it. I can tell you square 100% is great on any social media. The tall is great if you're doing on your stories. So that's also something to keep in mind when you guys are doing videos. Is think about how you're going to post these. So if I'm posting this on my actual post, then I would want it to be just horizontal. But if I'm going to put it in a reel or on my story, you're going to want it to be vertical because you want to want it to be up and down long. Okay, so that's where you can maybe have a selfie stick or something like that in place. Okay, but get comfortable with video, guys. And video doesn't have to be that long. If you guys have listings, it's a perfect opportunity to do video. You literally can just show yourself in the beginning. Hey, this is Lauren Johnson. I'm at 123 Somewhere Drive, and I'm going to go give you a walkthrough of what this is, this 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, whatever, blah, blah. You guys know what to say, but that's what I mean. It's just show them in the beginning and then go and walk through the property. You don't even have to have any voice on the property. You could put music to it, whatever. Just show yourself in the beginning. That's what's crucial. They need to make that connection. And then here, this is the example of the other snapshot. So this is showing the story version. This is the wide, the square, and then this postcard version. So they have them all in there. It's MarketQuest version 2, V2, how it shows up. Okay, another thing is to show your love for the community. I can't even emphasize this enough, especially with what's happening with all this restrictions and stuff down on and still COVID with businesses. This is a great thing to show, okay, is showing the love of the community, doing interviews with local businesses or restaurant owners. They're gonna love this. And the goal here is that you develop a relationship with them, and then hopefully they will then push you on their social media as well. Okay, and we actually have templates in BrandServe that you can use for this. Here is an example of one of our fellow agents, Tim Smith. He did this with this rescue foundation. It was called LOL Rescue, and he posted it and tagged them in his post. So then it became a huge, like you see, like it's over 1,300 views he had for this. Okay, and it was just, again, talking about the community and it's showing an actual rescue network for puppies. I mean, who doesn't love little baby animals? Same one, Katie Day did the same thing, a similar thing, and it was Dog Bless Texas, which is cute, but you see all her posts. She reiterated that, tagged them. It was Neighborhood Spotlight. She tagged them in the post, and then she also had, again, she emphasized her hashtag on there. Okay, that's the branding. That's the consistency of the brand. But think of this stuff to highlight a community business. It helps. These are the templates that I mentioned that are in BrandServe. Okay, they let you do a business shout out. You can put the business's picture or whatever from the business, and don't be ever afraid of copyright. If you guys are advertising a business, you don't have to be afraid of taking any kind of graphic off of their website. There's nobody that's going to come after you. I can vouch this 100%. We've been doing it for 20 years. No one's going to come after you if you're promoting them, you're giving them credit, and you're tagging them and you're pushing them. There's no way they're going to say anything about it. But I, of course, I wouldn't do it. I would make it an opportunity to build the relationship with that business. So I would reach out before doing this and say, I want to do this. That's just a respect thing. And I think that even will help. And I think they would even more so push you if you do something like that. But these are in BrandServe. So other ideas, this is why I said I would share this, because I have a ton of ideas. Okay, I put all these ideas because I constantly get people asking me, what are ideas for posts? And there's so much, guys. It's really, you kind of shift your mentality of when you're out and about on your day-to-day, everything is viable for a post. Everything basically becomes a post. So here, I'm not going to go through all of these, but you have shared tips and tricks, a fun infographic, a testimonial, and it's even better and more powerful to get your testimonials on videos. Videos, guys, is where it's at. But even if you take a video and say you guys are farming a certain neighborhood, you know, if you are in that neighborhood, doing a market update with that neighborhood in the background would be huge. Even going down the streetscape of that neighborhood and showing what it is. I had an agent who did this. He's one of our top agents over here in Fort Lauderdale. He went down the street. He literally was just walking. You could hear the birds chirping. You heard all the trees, but what the feeling that you got was that it was such a peaceful neighborhood. You got that immediately, and he got a great response. And like I said, it was just like a 10-second video of him going down the street. So stuff like that. I can tell you guys, we're about to hit winter months. When up north they have a big snowstorm, all of you guys, because we all have access to the beach, should be showing videos of the beach. Those are going to trend, especially when there is weather bad up north. Okay, those are key things to remember and key things to think about, because that's how social media works. They go on what is trending. If something's trending bad up north, then we can have it trend with showing the opposite. It's just how it works. So, and it's the same with even like the football, like the Super Bowl. They're saying there's nothing more impactful than when you talk about a news event that's happening at that moment. So for example, if you take, like, say, the Super Bowl, okay, if you talk about the Super Bowl before or after, it's not as impactful as if you're actually posting about it as it's happening. Okay, the same with goes for like storms. So if you guys hear there's a snowstorm, a blizzard happening, that is when then you can post about our beautiful weather, our beautiful beaches, stuff like that. Okay, so post, like even things of, what are you reading? Okay, that is a great post to just give engagement. Okay, again, is you're asking for people to comment. That's where the engagement comes in again. Remember, it's such about not only about your engagement, but also what are you getting on your post. So stuff, if asking questions like that of reading, what are your things that you're reading right now? Or even asking, like if you guys have a post of 2 listings and you have 2 different backyards or 2 different kitchens, you could say like this or that. Those are going to help you get engagement. Thought I was done. See, I got a ton more ideas here, guys. So look, you have tons. That's why I say there's just so many different things that you can post about. Answer common questions, share a gift, invite your followers to an open house, ask connections, share interior decorating tips, do it yourself things. Everyone loves do it yourself stuff. There's a no-brainer on that. Those are great for blog posts and even putting them on social media. Post a home a week, post advice, share ideas for staging, positive community outreach, local events. Local events are always huge. I used to always, that's why I would do it sometimes on Thursday, my posts, because I would post about what is happening for that weekend coming up. Those are always a no-brainer. Everyone loves to know what's happening. And even if you talked about even dog-friendly places, parks, restaurants that accept dogs or like dogs, favorite restaurants in town, those types of things. You can even do a post of like the top 10 burger places or top 5 burger places or whatever. But you can have fun with this. Okay, just think of like, what do people want to know? And then of course, if you guys get stuck on templates, they do have these in BrandServe. But I will tell you, if you guys are really building your brand, you really should think of doing these on your own in your Canva to add your logo and everything to them. But this is what they have. They have all the holidays in here, so you guys can get ahead. They download all of these holidays. You could actually get ahead of them and download them for the year, which you guys should be at least getting them, the rest of them, for the end of this year. What are we in? We're in end of October. So we only have a few more holidays, but get those and have those scheduled and ready to go already, so you don't have to worry about those. And then just fill in the rest as needed. Here's a sample calendar. Now, this is extremely aggressive. I am not saying that everybody needs to do this, but if you actually took this calendar and broke it up, you probably have at least easily 3 months of content right here. Because even if you just take 3 to 4 days a week, it can easily be broken up into 3 or 4 months of content. But you get the idea of what it's saying, okay? It's saying market update. Obviously, the first of every month, you're doing a market update. BrandServe company content. So this is a lot too, guys. If you ever get stuck, there's a ton of company content on BrandServe. So even stuff about the brand, which helps you look good. Okay, strengthen our numbers and how we sell our luxury. There's a lot on global luxury, and there's a lot on just Coldwell Banker in general that you can post just as fillers for your social media. Behind the scenes is always a good one. Okay, and I talk a lot with agents, is like when you guys are doing photo shoots or open houses, show pictures or videos of what's happening. How do you set that up? What is happening? Like, how does that photographer set up to get that home run shot? Those things to think about. Take a picture of the photographer taking a picture or something like that. That's what people want to know. And of course, testimonials, seller tips, do it yourself, local ARCA, local spotlights. Those, you get the idea. If you could spread this out, you see basically where this is all going. Of course, use video. Okay, and I talk a lot about using video. Why? Well, this slide is 100% why. This slide is huge. It talks about, look, video marketers generate 66% more qualified leads. Social video generates 1,200% more shares. That's huge, guys. That's huge. Initial emails with a video receive 96% increase in click-through. Average users spend 88% more time on website. YouTube is the #2 most visited site after Google. So this is where you guys have to really put your efforts into video. I'm not even kidding. I can't emphasize it enough. It's just so much. You get such a bigger response, and you're going to build your brand 10 times faster with video than with your post. So some things for video content. Obviously, your property videos are always going to be the easiest thing to do. The easiest thing too is if you have at least a helper. If you don't have a helper, then I would suggest getting a selfie stick, or even those ring lights, guys. That ring light comes with a package. Sometimes with video, if you guys are just doing little tips and tricks, you can do a little ring light. They're like 30 bucks on Amazon. You can get a ring light. It has the lighting. It gives you a clicker that you can click and do it. Those things to think about are worth it. Even I hear a lot of agents tell me, especially with property videos, if you guys are going into properties and it's all not staged, it's empty, so it's very echoey when you're in there, think of maybe having a microphone for yourself. That'll drown out a lot of that background noise. And again, these are all things that I have seen agents do that are not a cost investment. They're not big investments. It's very little on 30, 20 bucks, something like that on Amazon, and it's worth it. Property videos, though, this is where you can actually put in your contact information. So I emphasize this a lot because I see a lot of videos on YouTube where people put the videos, they take the time, but then they don't leave a way to contact them. Okay, YouTube actually lets you create an end card right at the end of your videos. The end card is literally just your logo, your name, whatever information you want to put for contact. You can put your email, you can put your phone number, whatever. You just have it on the back of every single one of your videos. And then repurpose that video content featuring recent sold, highlight reel of the properties on the market. Realtor profile videos, testimonial videos, day in the life video. Okay, those people want to see what you guys are doing. You guys have one of the most interesting jobs. They want to see. So I taught neighborhood video tours, home buying 101, property contract, or even Ask Me Anything Live. Okay, this is a benefit with Facebook. I have an agent who does this every week. It's like Tuesdays with Gary, and he posts every Tuesday. He does a session, you know, it's different on what he brings in, but he has it where everyone knows, okay, every Tuesday at whatever time, he's going to be live on Facebook and doing these videos. The great thing is if you guys do Facebook Live, that can be repurposed. Okay, they let you save that video. So then that's a video that you could share. You could put out on your other social media platforms or put out on your emails. Okay, don't think that it's one thing. Okay, and the also thing to think about too is building up your Instagram, building up your followers. So the great thing too with videos is even looking at your competitors. Okay, the benefit is you can actually go to your competitors and say they show that they had like 340 views of a video. You guys can click on that. You can click on those people and start to follow them. Like that's how you start to build it. Okay, I use a little program that's called like unfollow for Instagram. What it does is they'll tell you who's not following you back. So then you can basically unfollow them. But basically it's a game, guys. It's basically go follow a bunch of people and you have to be careful. Okay, you can't say go follow a bunch. It's like limited like 100 a day. So only do like 90 or 80 a day. Because they will put you in Instagram timeout, which is basically they lock you out for like a day. But what it is basically follow for follow. So you go and build this up, and this does not take a lot of time. I did this for my son's travel baseball account. And he has now, I think I started this at the end of February, and he's well over 2,500 followers now. And it's just because of me doing this little thing here. I literally go on and I make sure at night, I just go on for like 10 minutes and just like a bunch of people that's showing my engagement. And then I go follow a bunch of people. And then you wait and you use the app a couple days later and then unfollow whoever's not following you back. But you will gain followers this way. And then as soon as you start getting traction, it's like after you get up past like 2,500 or 3,000, then it'll start to feed itself. It'll start to just do it. You won't have to keep doing this. But that's how you can easily get started on it. So more tips and strategies is Messenger too. So Instagram Messenger, Instagram direct message, and Facebook Messenger, God, I'm confused. So those things, these are also great ways to follow up on leads and to reach out to your followers, because this is actually the most underutilized thing out there. But it is turning out to be a great, sorry, I feel like I have to sneeze. Okay, sorry. But what's happening is it's actually turning into be a great way to reach out to people, because it's not used at all. I actually had an agent who did this 100%. All she did was Instagram and she got all of her leads. She was one of our top agents. She actually only worked her direct messages. So what that means is that's when you directly message to somebody in Instagram, your DM. Okay, that's where you basically can tease them. So kind of like how it works is when you have a listing or you have something that, listing, when you have a listing, don't give them all the information. You basically kind of tease them, give them a little sneak peek, and then say, DM me for more information. And then what happens is when they get you one-on-one in these DMs or the messenger, they feel they can open up and they end up feeling like they got you private. So they feel special. This is one of the most underused things right now, and it is so powerful. The people that are using this are getting great response on leads, and they're turning people into leads and turning them into stuff because of this. So this is where you can even send videos to people in Messenger or to DM. And this is where you guys don't have to worry about that do not call list. You don't have to worry about it. You have free reign to reach anyone on social media. So use it to your advantage. And this is where you can even say like, here, incubate leads by adding a poll or call to action your content. Are you looking to move? Maybe that's your poll. And remember that that's the benefit with Instagram is doing polls. You can easily be like, are you planning on moving in 2021 or 2022? Those types of things. But this is the direct messaging. This is again with Instagram, or you could send anyone a direct message. And even if you did a video, those are way more impactful. But reach out across your sphere, okay? And again, don't get so stuck, because with a lot of leads, and once you start incubating these leads, you don't know what people are more prone to reach out to. Maybe people are better at the DMing. I can tell you I have a specialist that works for me, and she's a millennial. And she actually told me that she will respond to a DM before a text message. So that just shows you their thought process with that millennial types mentality. And I think that's so true. And she said, I was like, oh my God, I bet you're right. But see, I think my generation would respond more to a text message. So just knowing, that's again where you have to know your demographic and knowing who your target audience is and what they like and how they actually like to be responded to. So try the different areas, you know, see what they respond to more. Are they responding to email? Is it better to text, call, or even the social media profiles? That's how you're going to be able to know what are they more comfortable with. Send video messages, okay? And I say this is so big, guys, and especially if you guys have a big client and you want to really like impress them, like what client wouldn't like it? Just say, hey, thank you so much for working with me, and you have a video message to send them. Or even if it's their birthday and you send, hey, just want to say happy birthday, blah blah blah, and it's video. It takes you nothing to do it, and it's going to take so much more impactful to them than you know. There's so much more that you can go on a video than you can't on a post or on a text message. It's just you get that whole feeling on a video that you don't get in an image. I had a great example. I have this agent and she 100% does this. She's awesome. She does all video testimonials. So she gets all her clients to send video testimonials to her, and basically they shoot them. She's not even in front of them half the time. They send her the video. So they shoot them on their own and they send them to her. But she did this one recently and was a video, and I actually shared it on my social media, on my Facebook. But she had her client send it to her. And what it was is it was a message that the client actually found. The client shot, and it was of her kids. Okay, apparently they were trying to get this house, and they didn't know if the offers were going to go through. Well, the message showed that she was showing to her, the video was of her relaying to her kids that they got the house, and the kids' reaction was like, it would make you cry, because the kids were so happy because they ended up winning the house because they were next to their cousins. So then the whole video was like, oh my God, I get to grow up with my cousins. And then the kid was crying, and it would just naturally make you cry. That's what, and it was just like a 30-second video. It wasn't long at all, but that was so powerful, just that alone, because that's something that you can't get that feeling in a post or in a graphic. That is something that only a video can capture. And it was very, very powerful. So stuff like that. And look, and even the statistic, I actually think we're even higher than this right now, but it says 80% of videos will be watched without sound in 2021. I think we're actually already there. So do remember that when you do post to YouTube, okay, YouTube actually allows you, when you post, it says it will add the closed captions for you. Okay, I 100% would do this. Make sure that you're adding in the closed captions. The reason why, guys, is think of what are the habits of people. If somebody's sitting here during the day and I'm sitting here scrolling during when I'm supposed to be working, I'm looking at videos that I don't want my boss to see me looking at. So where they put it all on mute. So that's where the closed captioning comes in. So do make sure that you are putting the closed captions on. Of course, we did talk about the Instagram hashtag. So again, you do want to make sure that you are using hashtags. They will help you build your community and build your brand. So it did say this, about 30 hashtags are on a regular post, 10 on a story. I wouldn't include the 30 though. Don't max out your 30. I would say 10 to 11 are pretty good. Here are some ideas for hashtags. Okay, we always get stuck in the eyes. The benefit with Instagram is it lets you search hashtags. Okay, so it's like a lot with SEO. You guys don't know SEO is search engine optimization. It works very similar how SEO works, in that you have to be, the longer your hashtag, the more it's going to get a better following. So for example, if I just say, okay, I want to hashtag real estate, probably if I look up real estate, it's probably like millions for searching. But if I said real estate in Fort Lauderdale, that's going to get me a better hashtag and a better response of followers than if I just say real estate, for example. Okay, that's how hashtags work. Very similar to how SEO keywords work. So here was a bunch of different ideas. And again, even the local amenities, restaurants, coffee shops, always tag those things too. That's going to help you get in front as well. And then here's a little tip and trick. So when you guys are posting, say, a graphic, there is this alt text feature. Okay, and again, talking about SEO, this is a little hack that we used to do when building websites. I used to build a lot of websites for a living. You would be able to hide keywords in your pictures. Okay, and you still allow you to do that today on Facebook's or websites. You're able to hide keywords in your pictures. So the same thing can happen. And this, unfortunately, this is something you have to do as you post. This can't be something that you go back to your post and do. So what it is if you look all the way over here on the left, you have your new post. So this is what it is. You put the picture, you put whatever your little comments are, and then all the way down here on the bottom in that little gray, I love how they hide all this stuff. That little gray, it says advanced settings. Okay, when you click on that, you get this screen, and then you have that here, write alt text. When you click on that right alt text, this allows for you to hide keywords. So this is a great area where you can hide keywords that, again, if anyone's searching for anything on Instagram, this will help then you pull up. So again, you can hide things like if you're farming a certain area, like I could say real estate homes for sale in Fort Lauderdale, for example. Maybe that's my keyword. Or maybe you're putting your business as a keyword. Whatever you want as your keyword, this is where you can hide these in your post now. Social media. So we do have at Coldwell Banker, we have a few social media platforms that do help with advertising. Okay, this is if you guys are going to get serious and do actual digital ads. Now, I could tell you guys I used to do ads a ton, and I got a great success rate on these. There is nothing better than doing a digital ad because that's where everybody's at. And I 100% would put more money in digital ads than I would probably in postcards, but that's my personal opinion. I'm not saying postcards don't work. Postcards definitely work for real estate. Always. They always get a great response. But if you guys are looking, it's a very small cost that you can get away with driving, again, building your business. If you don't have to invest a ton of mail like you do with mailers. Mailers can cost you a lot of money. Okay, you can get away with a lot cheaper on a digital ad, and it'll push you, it'll push your brand, and it'll help it get you more exposure for a minimal cost. So we have social ad engine. Social ad engine, basically, if you guys ever get stuck and you don't know how to do the platform on Facebook and you don't know how to get through on doing those ads, this is where basically it'll take that headache out for you. It'll basically guide you through that process. And I will tell you guys, there's one thing though with digital ads that you have to make sure you have in place, and that's that Facebook pixel. If you don't have that Facebook pixel in place, you're not getting the most exposure for your ad. Okay, what that Facebook pixel does, I use it as like a little GPS tracker. If you guys ever go to a site, say you looked at a dress or a purse, and then you go back to Facebook and Instagram and that thing's following you around, that's because of the pixel. So that's what you want when you're running an ad too. You want to be following people around. If they click on it or whatever, you want to be basically stalking them all over Facebook and Instagram. That's the benefit with the pixel. Okay, it's a big pain to set up. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to go through this because it is a big nightmare to set up. But if you do need help setting it up, just let me know. I'm happy to help. We also have Home Spotter Boost. So this is tied to Listing Concierge. This is a great thing, okay? This actually lets you export leads right out of here. But if you don't have to do Listing Concierge. You can still run ads on your own. The benefit with and the difference between the two, Home Spotter Boost does go across Facebook and Instagram, but it also goes across Google. So you see this has viewed on top sites such as ESPN, New York Times, Forbes. I mean, if you tried to do an ad on any of those sites, it would cost you a lot more money than what you're running on your Boost ad. So something to consider. And like I said, the benefit with the Boost, and again, if you guys are not going into Boost and you've run Listing Concierge, I guarantee you have leads sitting there. I actually just did this for an agent last week, and I went to lunch with him, and I said, I'm like, have you ever checked your Boost? He was like, no, I checked it. He had 100 leads sitting in there that he had no idea. So just check that. It's a great resource. And the great thing is like I said, it lets you export leads. There's not many digital ads out there that let you do this. I don't know of any, honestly. I used to do a ton of digital ads. No one ever let me export leads. I used to have to send them to a freaking page and a landing page and do all that. This, you don't. You could basically tie them into a website, but you are going to get the leads. If they click on that ad of yours, you are going to get their email address. So that it gives you the benefit then of taking those leads and putting them into your prospect square, putting them into InTouch and so forth. So they are on your drip campaigns. And then of course, like I mentioned a lot throughout this, is BrandServe. BrandServe has a lot of social media tactics. If you guys are building your sites, BrandServe has a great resource for cover photos. If you guys want to change your cover photos, you know, they have the backgrounds, they have the cover photos already in here for Coldwell Banker. Look in those. They have a ton of social media. Like I said, they have all the holidays in here. Some of them have videos, some don't, but look, okay, they have all this stuff in here. So take a look at it. It's better, basically, I think you go to campaigns and it has social media. They also have all our logos in there, and they have photography in here. So if you guys ever get stuck, like if you guys want to up your InTouch websites or anything like that, they have a whole stock photo in here. Just be aware it is nationwide. So it will be photos in there that are not just Florida. They will be others. Okay, so I've blasted you guys a lot. Let me see, what questions do you have for me? Yes, answer the public. Thank you. That was it. Any questions that you guys have? And like I said, I put my email in the chat. So if you guys want, just feel free to write. You could just literally put PowerPoint to me in the subject or PPT, and I will send you the slide decks. I know I covered a lot here. So any questions that you have? No, you guys are good. You're all rock stars. You got all of that.
I have a question, Lauren.
Okay.
Step-by-step guide to setting up the pixel. And
no, it's really a pain in the butt.
okay.
So I could tell you basically in the summary, what it does is you have to go. So the easiest thing is you go to your Facebook account. Here, I'll show you real quick what you have to look for. I don't like doing it because it's not the easiest thing used. The easiest thing is just go to your ads manager. So I kind of go old school and I just put it in my ads manager in my browser rather than trying to find it since they changed it so many times. So I just do facebook.com/ads manager. And then this will open up basically your ad dashboard. So what you want to go to is on the left-hand side here. Actually, see, they changed it. It's here. These 3 lines here is what you want to look for. When this opens up, this is where you want to go to Events Manager.
So we're not seeing your screen.
Oh, sorry. That would help if I shared that, wouldn't it? Okay, so here, this is what I would do. I would go facebook.com/ads manager. And it goes into your ad account. And then what you're going to want to do is go on the left-hand side to these 3 lines where it has all tools. And then you want to go to Events Manager. And then you see mine's already set up. But what you would see is it would say set up pixel. You would have a button here that would say set up pixel. And then you're going to have to go through the process of that. It's going to ask you to put in like your website. You're going to want to make sure you copy your exact website. So that means either like if you're using InTouch, make sure it's the HTTPS : so that whole thing you have to copy. You would put that in here. And then what it's going to ask you is how do you want to install it? And you're going to want to say manual. That's why it's hard for me to show this. So then when you do manual, it's going to give you a code. And so that's the code that you need to grab. And then what you're looking for is this long number. So that long number is where you have to copy that. And then put that into like, say your InTouch account, or if you're using an outside website, you'd have to paste that code in the back end. If you're just doing InTouch, you just need to copy that long code and put it into InTouch in your custom analytics.
Thank you.
It's a little confusing, I know. That's why I've just done it for people because it's just too confusing to even explain. So the recording will show up once I stop this class. The recording will show back up in the chat probably within 10 minutes. Probably show back up. So you just come back into the session like you did today and go to the chat, and the recording should be there. If you guys can't find it, then just send me an email and I'll send you. I'll send it to you. Vanessa says, can you buy quality followers? I would never buy followers, guys. They're never going to be quality. You're always going to be hindered for that if you do that. I wouldn't do it. I would stay away from the buying of followers. And especially now, because that was such a big push when Instagram and all them came out. That's what everybody was doing, was buying followers. And now you could tell the fake accounts. So I would really stay away from that. It's the same with buying leads. They're never 100%. Stay away from buying anything that's leads, followers, any of that. It's just never going to be good. Build it up naturally. You can do it, guys. Like I said, as I did it for my son's account, I got over 25 and I stopped doing it after a while. It's just, you can do it. It doesn't take much time. I don't have the time to do it either. And I would sit at literally before bed and I would go through the feed and just like a bunch of people and then comment on a bunch of people. And then I would just make sure I was consistently posting. And that's really all it is. That's all it is, guys. So like, look at your competition. Look at who's getting high followers. Go and follow them. Look at their followers and then follow them. That's how I would do it. What other questions you guys have? Good? You're all good? All right, like I said, if you guys want the PowerPoint, just send me an email. The site for Ads Manager, it was facebook.com. So it's, here, I'll put in the chat. It's literally just facebook.com/ads manager. That's how you can get to your Ads Manager account. Go set that up. You're welcome. What other questions? Any other questions you guys have? Yeah, just send me an email with the PowerPoint, guys. I'm not going to go through this chat. Once I close this, I'm done. And again, my email is just lauren.johnson@floridamoves.com. All right, so if that's it, I will let you guys go. I appreciate it. And just get out there and do it, guys. You're not going to break anything, but just get out there and just go and do it. Oh, and the other thing is those templates. Get those templates in that Canva. That'll help you a lot with that. All right, well, I want to thank you guys so much. I just go out there and just try it. And any questions, just let me know, guys. All right, I hope everyone has a great rest of the day. Thank you, everybody.